Hey, hello, and welcome. I am Debbie Peterson of Getting to Clarity, and this is another video about getting to clarity, especially about emotional stress at work. You know, we all know the feeling of relief when we walk out the door and we leave the stress behind. The problem is that we don't always leave the stress behind. And unfortunately, stress doesn't know that there's a door. Just because we disappear from work doesn't mean it disappears from us. Persistent stress can lead to real physical symptoms, from headaches to even serious diseases. And that's why it's important to learn how to deal with emotional stress at work. Now, this isn't a one-size-fits-all approach. Different things work for different people. So I'm going to give you a few strategies today. Some general tips that can help anyone deal with emotional stress at work in a better way. So first and foremost, it's important to become aware of what it is that you're thinking throughout the day. What are your thoughts? Because where your thoughts go is where your emotions go. And one of the easiest ways to do this is to pay attention when you're feeling a certain emotion and explore what the thinking is underneath. So for example, what's going on around you if you're feeling frustrated? How are you thinking about it? If it's a person or a situation that triggers you, okay, then it's already become a pattern. So likely you've been down this road before. When you have an immediate reaction to someone or something, it's a pattern of thinking that you're familiar with. And now you're conditioning yourself to repeat it. Okay, so you're training yourself to experience it again and again. Why do you do that? Well, because it's what you know, it's what you do. So it's time to interrupt the pattern if you'd like to have a less stressful reaction. So ask yourself, who am I being in this moment? Think about your feelings and your thoughts. Are they empowering you or are they disempowering? So even just being aware of that, digging underneath the surface is huge. And then ask yourself, how do you want to feel or think instead? Okay, it's that simple, but it takes effort. So it may be small, but it can have a big difference in how you feel. So let's say, for example, you're dreading going into a meeting because of what will be said. Well, if you're afraid of what's happening in the meeting, you're focused on what you don't want. So instead, think of the outcome you would like to have in the meeting. Well, I'd like to go to the meeting and I'd like to learn more about the project. It's of interest to me. Focus on that outcome instead. Put energy into that vision instead. So it's another strategy. Our emotions are trying to tell us something. So if you're feeling stressed, then listen to what your underlying thoughts are or your beliefs and how they may be contributing. So maybe you have a grudge against someone, or maybe it's some self-doubt about your abilities. Either way, stress is a sign for you. It's time to make a change because you have a choice in how you react to people and situations. So let's say that you're under a lot of pressure to succeed, right? And it may feel overwhelming. Now, that could cause you to ignore your boundaries and give more until you're depleted. Have you been there? I know I have. So if you're finding that your emotions at work are particularly intense, it may be time to look at your boundaries or lack thereof and see what needs to be reinforced, because you get to choose yourself. No one is going to do it for you. So for instance, you might not be able to control everything that happens at work, but you do have control and influence over your reaction and your perspective, how you see things. So a third strategy, take some time for yourself and figure out what you need to do to forgive, to release, and to let go. This is the inner work, and it is time consuming, but so worth it. Because when we're stressed, we're often holding on to something that we actually need to let go of. Emotions are energy in motion. And if we're holding on to them, then we're destined to feel them again and again because we don't let them go anywhere. So emotions, energy in motion, they're meant to be experienced and then let go. Not ignored, stuffed down, right? We feel them for a reason, and suppressing them is only going to make things worse in the long run. So releasing the negative emotions that you feel, the negative baggage that you're carrying around. And I've created a process for you to be able to do that I'm going to put a link to a meditation playlist in the comments below so that you can do it too. So remember, you're feeling what you're feeling for a reason. It's valid. Your emotions are trying to tell you something. Now, we have an opportunity to learn more about ourselves, what we need to do to feel our best and be our best by paying attention to them and listening to what they have to say. So if you see the same person the same way every time, likely you've already labeled them. Well, if they're a problem child, they're always going to be a problem child because that's the instruction you've given to your mind. It's how your brain works. It's efficient. It looks for the easy way and then it makes it a habit. So the things that we do become habits, but our thoughts do too. But that's not necessarily the best experience for you. You know, if the other person is twisting you up, you're the one left holding the short end of the stick. And if they produce that sort of reaction inside of you, that means there is something inside of you that you need to pay attention to. So for this, I love the process of Ho'oponopono. It is the Hawaiian forgiveness process that I learned as a student of Huna. And when it comes to people that trigger you, forgiveness is the tool to learn. Because here's the deal, forgiveness allows you to let go of emotions that make you feel awful. Forgiveness is the way for you to get unstuck because you're not living in the past, you're not anchored to the past anymore. Forgiveness empowers you to live your life and navigate your career on your terms. Forgiveness isn't about saying who was right and who was wrong. Forgiveness is not saying that what happened was okay. It's about healing for you so that you can move forward. And I've also got a meditation that I am going to insert in the comments below so that you can experience this, download it, and use it for yourself. A very powerful tool that I use myself. So I am hoping that this video provides you with some clarity, as always, and peace as you go through your day so that you're not constantly thinking about the past or worrying about the future, that you're not thinking about what could have been or what will be, but instead you deserve to live in the present moment and focus on what's happening for you right now. So until the next time, here is wishing you all the clarity that you deserve. Bye-bye for now.